You feel it before you even notice you're doing it. A tiny itch in your hand, a pull toward your pocket. You haven't heard a notification, nothing has actually happened. And yet you check anyway. Why? The easy answer is that phones are addictive by design. That's true. But it's not the real answer. The real answer is far stranger. Your hand isn't reaching for a screen. It's reaching for something that hasn't existed in its current form for 2 million years. To understand what's happening in your pocket, you have to go back to the savannah. Picture an early human roughly 2 million years ago, a member of the species Homo habilis, or one of its close relatives, moving through tall grass in what is now East Africa. This person is not thinking about the future. This person is scanning constantly. Every rustle in the grass could be wind, or it could be a leopard. Every distant shape could be a rock, or it could be a rival group. This scanning behavior has a name. Researchers call it vigilance, and it wasn't optional, it was survival. Here's the strange part. Vigilance isn't just about spotting danger, it's about spotting anything new, any change in the environment, a new smell, a new sound, a shift in the herd of animals on the horizon. Because in a world without written records, without weather forecasts, without any way to know what was coming, the only defense you had was noticing things quickly, before anyone else did. Your brain rewarded this behavior. Every time an early human noticed something new and it turned out to matter, a small chemical reward followed. Not a huge one. Just enough to reinforce the habit. Just enough to make checking the environment feel slightly satisfying every single time, whether or not anything was actually there. Does that sound familiar yet? Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz, working with primates in the 1990s, discovered something that would later reshape how scientists understand motivation. He found that dopamine, the brain chemical people associate with pleasure, doesn't actually spike when a reward arrives. It spikes when a reward is uncertain, when you don't know if something is coming. The anticipation is the addictive part, not the outcome. This is called reward prediction error, and it explains something that seems backwards at first. A guaranteed treat produces less dopamine than a treat you might or might not get. Uncertainty is the fuel, not certainty. Now think about your phone. When you unlock it, you don't know what you'll find. Maybe nothing. Maybe a message from someone you like. Maybe a notification that means nothing at all. That uncertainty is not an accident. It's the exact same mechanism that kept your ancestors alive on the savannah, scanning the horizon for movement that might be a predator or might be nothing. Psychologist B.F. Skinner demonstrated this principle decades before smartphones existed. In the 1950s, he ran experiments on pigeons, giving them food pellets on a random schedule instead of a fixed one. The pigeons that received food unpredictably pecked at the lever far more often and far more compulsively than the pigeons who received food every single time. Skinner called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. It remains one of the most powerful behavioral patterns ever documented. It is also almost exactly how a notification feed works. Your ancestors didn't have notifications, but they had something functionally identical. Every walk through unfamiliar territory was a variable ratio schedule. Sometimes the tall grass held nothing. Sometimes it held food. Sometimes it held a threat. The brain that got slightly excited every time just in case was the brain that survived long enough to pass on its genes. You are descended, unbroken, from that brain. Here's where it gets stranger still. This scanning instinct wasn't just about danger and food. It was deeply social. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar has spent decades studying primate social structures. and his research suggests early humans lived in groups of roughly 150 individuals, a number now known as Dunbar's number. Within a group that size, knowing what everyone else was doing wasn't gossip, it was strategy.